starting now. I'm going to go to share screen. And what I'm taking a look at is another class that I want you to write. And this class is actually listed on D2L. It's one called Viking. And as I've been grading my online programs and some things I've seen from this class, I want to spend a little bit more time with the new included things that you're including for assignment 6.2. And that's the constructors and the two string. So to make sure everybody knows what's going on. So if you wanted to look back at D2L and see, I basically cut and copied and pasted. I didn't cut, I copy and pasted the UML chart for Viking over to here. So I'm going to go through, and as I do things in the program, I'm going to eliminate them up here. So the first thing I see is the 4 fields that I need to use. First one is string. And of course, why is D2? Come on, here we go. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to say these are my fields. Now, some of the programs I've seen, like for mulch, where we have length, width, and height, that's all we should have for the fields. Some of my online classes, they have circumference is a field and volume is a field and all that. We only need the fields. We don't want the extras because they cause the stale data, which means one of the fields could change, but you don't recalculate the volume. So I need string because I have a name for all of my Vikings. They need names, right? The health. So if I was playing a Viking game, I'm going to have a variable called health, and it's going to, it'll be an int, because, you know, you've played these dungeon, whatever games, and everybody has a health. And what else do I need? A wealth, so we can keep track of how much money they have in case they go into a store and want to buy a new weapon. So my last field is going to be my weapon. And that's it. That's all I need. Everything can be recalculated based on that. I can change my name. I can add to wealth and health and subtract from all of those. I can change my weapon. But these are the 4 important things. They're the must-haves. So I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to say, I already took care of those. I'm going to delete all that. Next thing, my 2 constructors. All right. So my next group is going to be constructors.
Professor,
Yes.
don't they need to be private variables on the fields?
Up here?
Yeah.
Yes. That's why y'all are watching, to help me so I don't screw up. Thank you. Private int health, private int wealth. And again, why are we making these private? So the demo program can't have a variable named name, which would then screw this one up. Okay. These are encapsulated inside of here. All right, my construct, uh-oh, that one private doesn't look very well typed. Somebody's just about to tell me that, right? Looks like I have 2 constructors, a default constructor. So how do I type up the default constructor? Well, it's going to be the same name, but I'm going to start with public so that my demo program can use it. Viking. This one's the empty parentheses. So what are my fields? Name. Give me a Viking name.
Lee.
Lee. Lee Strong Sword. It's got to have a good name, right? What is Lee's health?
100.
100. Yeah, we'll give him a health of 100 to start. We're going to assume, yeah. Wealth. Well, we don't want him to be a poor man, so we'll give him 25, whatever. So if you're writing a demo program, a game later, you have all this set up. You can do with it whatever you want. Weapon. Well, come on. We know what weapon he should have.
Battle axe.
X.
His name's Strong Sword. Let's give him an axe. Come on, man. Sword, right? And a lot of you have played games where, yeah, we can find a weapon and we can do all that. Well, that's if I want to create a dummy character, right? But otherwise, I'm going to let the user get all this started. I'm going to create a second constructor. Okay. This time I'm going to give values. Name equals. All right. So the difference in these constructors, again, is going to be the signature. I'm going to be bringing in a string, name. I'm going to be bringing in an int. So I type int, comma, H for health. And I'm okay with single letters. See, a lot of times I'm not. I like them to be more descriptive. I have int, W for wealth. And I'm going to have one more string. Wrong language, capital S. One more string. And what am I going to do? How about WEAP? Because that has to be different than the other one. This is my default constructors. Name gets a value of N that's coming in. Health, right? I'm filling all of my fields equals H coming in. Wealth, that's going to be that third variable in my parameter list, also known as my signature, right? It's a signature. And finally, I have weapon. That's going to equal the fourth one, which we call WEAP. Good? Yes?
Yep.
All right. So that's my constructors. And next thing, I'm going to keep working on this. And I know I now need my methods. I'm going to need my sets, my gets. You know, what else do I have up here? A hit. What do you think a hit's going to do? Well, it's going to bring in a value and subtract it from the health, right? And cure, add to money, spend money, change weapon. So I'm able to do a whole bunch of these things. But so far, I just took care of my fields and my constructors. I still have all my notes here. Having all these notes really makes it easy. Plus, whoever's writing the code for the game has all these notes as well. So the last thing I want to take care of is I want to talk about the toString. Okay. And then y'all can, I'm going to turn you loose and you're going to go through, and I made a demo program and you're going to finish out this class and then see how the demo works to go along with it. Okay. So my methods are going to be listed here. And then finally, I have my toString. Okay, so my toString method, what am I going to return? Well, first of all, what do I put in front of it? Public
String.
string, right? I don't put static. Static will be used if I use a method over in my demo program. But my methods that I have in a class don't include the word static. Public, I'm going to return a string. ToString, and there's no parameters coming in. Okay, I have a left brace and a right brace, and in my body, I'm going to have something where string equals, or string str. I'm going to declare a variable called string because I know that I'm going to return that string. Now, inside of here, I build the string. What in this class can I put in here to make it look exciting? Because when I'm over in my demo, over in my game, I'm just going to display the object. So everything I can put in here about the object is what I need. Well, let's see. I know all of my fields are going to become important. Is there anything else up here? I don't see anything else that I would have to include. In your mulch, your toString is going to say the length of the box is blah, blah, blah. The width is blah, blah, blah. The height is blah, blah, blah. Your circumference is, the area is, the number of bags you need is, but everything that you can get out of the class, you're going to put in that toString. So then when it comes time to do the demo, the user doesn't have to do all of that programming. It's already done in the toString. So for us, we're going to have something like str equals double quotes, your character, double quotes, a plus, name, plus, you know, and we're going to start putting a little bit of life in it. Your character, what do we say? Lee strong sword. And it has a health of, and you're just going to keep going with as much information as you can and tell a little story. Okay. So if there's formatting, do it here. If there's, I don't know what, change of font color and so on, do it here. So that when someone's writing the program, all they need to know are the method names, and it's going to work beautiful for them. Okay. Any questions about, you know, how I laid all this out? You know, I went ahead and thought through a nice UML chart so that when I get ready, this typing part's easy now. Here's the fields. Here's the two constructors. I'm going to have all of my methods. And then finally, my toString is going to tell a story. It's going to be formatted. It's going to look pretty. Everything's going to be done.
I have a question, Professor.
Yes, go ahead.
So you had a change weapon, and in this class, all it does is change the name of the weapon. But if we made classes for each of the different weapons that have different like statistics and stuff,
Yeah.
how would you do that? Would you just create separate classes and then call them in the
Well,
demo?
no, what I would do is create, so you have a weapon right now, right? And what are you saying? You'd like to add weapons
Or change weapons,
or
but
change? Well, that's what change weapon will do. So you see change weapon is a string. So we're going to have a method in here that by my notes, I put public. Okay. If I come up, I put public change weapon. So public change weapon is going to bring in a string. I'm just going to call it S. And inside of here, I'm going to say weapon equals S. So now I'm able, so when someone calls the object, whatever, Viking 1 dot change weapon, parentheses, double quotes, an axe. You know, you probably have a better name for an axe. A bloodthirsty wielding axe. You know, that'll get passed in here and then weapon will get changed. Okay, so that's a simple thing to do, you know. So that's weapon. Could you add to maybe have another one in here called add weapon, which will come in and add to weapons? You know, then you could say weapon equals weapon plus and start to have a collection of weapons, or use something that's called an array, which we're going to look at next chapter. But you could start to build all this background so that you don't need it. And then your game or your demo that uses this, you could just go ahead and have fun with it. So I'm going to stop sharing so I can get out of here. And a lot of you know from, well, on D2L, there's something that's kind of fun there. So I'm going to let you folks go. I'm going to put you in groups of maybe 3 and go and actually do this based on what I was just talking about. What I mean is complete the class and then get the demo program, play around, have a little fun with it. Are we clear with what I'm looking for with the constructors and what I'm looking for with a toString? Because that's what I wanted to make sure we were good on today.